When we look back at old video games, sometimes they don't look quite as good as we remember. Graphics have gotten way better over the years, but also so have fan artists. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, we're gonna have a look at 10 fan remakes of game levels that look absolutely insane. Starting off at number 10, it's Blood Gulch in the Unreal Engine, as made by Jack McKelvey of Quixel. Now, Quixel is this company that creates assets for making photorealistic environments in Unreal Engine, and they are responsible for some of the best looking stuff you will find on YouTube. It's gorgeous. And this is no exception. Blood Gulch is a really specifically iconic location in the Halo canon, and perhaps one of the best head-to-head multiplayer maps out there. I mean, I played so much split-screen multiplayer in this level. All of my friends liked this level better than other levels. Same here. It looks incredible. Realistic grass, rock fixtures that just look amazing, and it's all in real time. Unreal Engine gives you like photorealistic, amazing, beautiful graphics. They did such an amazing job with this, just top notch. Huge nostalgia for me and love seeing it in a modern context. On number 9 is Metal Gear Solid, and it's not necessarily a level, it's more the intro, but it's Metal Gear Solid. Like, I'm just gonna be completely frank here. Metal Gear Solid is perhaps one of the best games of all time. I play it from time to time still. I don't care what it looks like. I don't play the GameCube one. The PlayStation 1 is superior. It's that simple. But seeing it at this level of graphics makes me want a Resident Evil style remake for this game. One that goes back to the original voice actors. Thank you. Still, we get to see some really cool stuff in this little intro. The submarine, Snake and scuba gear, and it just comes together so well under Colonel Campbell's voiceover. Just everything is beyond cool. I'd love to see more from this exact same artist showing us areas of Metal Gear Solid, because I've always liked the original and Metal Gear Solid 2 the best out of the entire series, and to see them get sort of a rejuvenation would be phenomenal. At number 8 are aspects of the base in Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis is a game you could describe as Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. But it obviously wouldn't go far enough in explaining how unique the actual feel of this game is. There's storms going on, it's dark, it's not a pleasant looking place where Dino Crisis takes place on Ibis Island. Dino Crisis was fully 3D, and because of that, it was very primitive, no pun intended. For the era, it was a very cool looking game, but it is in desperate need of an update. It's one of those games where it would be really cool to see a remake of it. And there's no better evidence than this fan-made trailer of some various locations in the game. Team Arclays made this, and wow is it cool. Between the rain, the dinosaurs, the overall atmosphere, we really just need this game remade. It's so cool looking. Not to mention Dino Crisis was just phenomenal, really enjoyable. It's one of those wet your whistle type trailers though. We want to see more. And at number 7, the Black Mesa Research Facility as seen in Project Lambda. Let's just go ahead and say that this remake of the intro of HalfLife looks like a brand new game. It is gorgeous. It's so well detailed. Probably more than anything else, it's beautifully lit. We've got these amazing textures on surfaces like shiny tiles, and as you get deeper and deeper into the facility, further and further down the intro, you see these various amazing details, like the inside of you can look down to the screws, which are lovingly textured, bump mapped, the rock formations and the areas, the glowing nuclear material, and all the machinery. It's just beautiful. It feels like a living, breathing workplace where people gather to accomplish something every day. And as the little clues begin to come in, where things clearly are not going to go correctly, the little aspects of various failures, like I said, that toxic waste spill, this is one you can actually download and play yourself, and I would highly recommend doing that. At number 6 is Counter-Strike, as seen in the Unreal Engine, again made by somebody at Quixel, this person named Victor Ullman. Dust 2 is just absolutely an iconic map. It is Counter-Strike. When you think of Counter-Strike, you think of Dust 2. It's that simple. And watching the process of the creation of this remake map, it's incredible the level of detail Victor goes into. He goes down to the level of just small pieces of every structure. Rocks, slabs, dirt. It's really an amazing map. At number 5 is various locations from Dark Forces, which, might I go ahead and add, had a lot of limitations that were Doom-like on account Dark Forces was from the Doom era. It was a Star Wars Doom, basically. That's not to say it didn't radically upgrade the technology, like for instance, it was able to display completely 3D objects, certain things could be animated and that couldn't be in Doom. It was impressive for the time. But talking about what things look like in these remade areas is incredible. Most specifically, Docking Bay 94 from Mos Eisley. Just a really cool, well-textured, amazing recreation of Mos Eisley that doesn't just contain, the buildings. There's a fully scaled and detailed Millennium Falcon to have a look at. Of course, you can't go inside it. Still, it is a nostalgia overload. At number 4 is the Medical Pavilion from the original BioShock. Now, BioShock is really interesting. If you're going based off of pure memory, it's not that long ago, and it's not a bad-looking game. So given expectations you might have from more modern games, you can think that the game looks better than it does. But when you go back, you are honestly kind of surprised at how flat a lot of things actually are. That's not to say it's not an accomplishment, it certainly is. It's a beautiful game for the time, and so much was done with environmental storytelling, it's impressive, to say the very least. But when you see Ross Littlejohn's remake of the Medical Pavilion compared to the original Medical Pavilion, with the unreal lighting effects, much more detailed textures, much prettier, more modern surface shaders, it's amazing. It's one of those things where you're like, well, it would be really cool if someone remade BioShock in Unreal. So yeah, I'm gonna back that statement up. It would be amazing if somebody did that. Whenever we look at stuff like this, it's just impossible not to wonder what if. What if we could play through these games again with these graphics? I really want it, particularly with BioShock. And at number 3, the Half-Life 2 apartments. Not necessarily a place that you're going to be shocked with upon first playthrough of the game. Half-Life 2 was a very graphically impressive game, but this was an area that was fairly ordinary looking, and sometimes in that era, ordinary things were a little bland, perhaps intentionally even. However, the atmospheric remake Liam Tart gave these apartments is just amazing. There's so many little details that aren't really there at all in the original version. There's texture, there's ambience, there's lighting, just stuff that was just technologically not possible. If anything, that's something that Unreal 4 does really well. More ordinary environments with some convincing, more realistic look to it. And starting from a base of that and working towards sort of spooky lighting and ambience just makes this area amazing.
Number 2,
The Hunter's Dream from Bloodborne. Now the first thing you probably think, wait, Bloodborne? That's not an old game. And it's true. When we look at The Hunter's Dream, it's actually not a bad looking place. In fact, nothing in Bloodborne is. I still consider it to be a pretty good looking game. But artist Simon Barrell went ahead and just did something incredible with it. He gave it a lot more texture and made it more real feeling. Bloodborne is already a fairly spooky place, but to see it in such detail is much more spooky. It's also just automatically less video gamey feeling, whereas that's just not the case with the original version. It feels very much like a level. Barrell's version is like a location. And finally, at number 1 is World of Warcraft, various locations remade in Unreal, keeping in mind that World of Warcraft has a very specific art style, very low polygon, and while that's obviously because of technical limitation, it's something that's very embedded in it. If somebody made a totally realistic version of the game, it would probably not be as well received because there's some aspect of the detail level that just works for World of Warcraft. A lot of these remade locations retain that kind of style and aren't particularly high in polygons. However, they are obviously a lot higher in polygons than the originals, and they more take advantage of the atmospheric effects that Unreal brings. Frankly, it's a game I'd like to play. A quick bonus for you before we finish up. Some fans have been remaking Tomb Raider 2 in Unreal, and it's amazing. It looks so much like Tomb Raider 2, except nothing like Tomb Raider 2. I don't know how you really accomplish that, but it seems like they were able to. Tomb Raider's a very different game now than then, but it faithfully manages to recreate the look and feel of Tomb Raider without looking so boxy and bad. Instead, it looks incredible. That's all for today. Have you seen some particularly cool fan remakes of locations and games? Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe, and don't forget to enable all notifications. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.